The hunt intensifying for whoever is behind a string of freeway shootings. Police in Detroit say the same suspect or suspects are playing Russian roulette on Interstate 94, opening fire 4 separate times. One driver was hit in the leg but is expected to be okay. Authorities now looking for a silver or gray car seen during the shootings. While you were sleeping, the most destructive wildfire raging in Southern California just got bigger, scorching 230,000 acres. That's larger than New York City. The massive inferno forcing brand new evacuation orders in Santa Barbara. Hurricane force winds fueling the flames, making it the 5th largest wildfire in state history. 6 out-of-control blazes still burning across California at this hour, and it could get even worse. There's no rain in the forecast at all this week. New overnight, the U.S. military making a bold show of force, launching missile tracking drills as tensions with North Korea run high. The 2-day joint drill with Japan and South Korea simulate detecting and tracking down potential ballistic missiles in the waters off the Korean peninsula. This comes less than weeks after the rogue nation fired its longest range missile yet, potentially capable of reaching anywhere in the U.S. By the way, why were they wearing white uniforms in the snow? The Bills beat the Colts 13-7.
They should have worn pennies.
It was you couldn't see anything. But seriously, I mean, yes, like so many people this morning are like, "Oh, congratulations about your Eagles," but
listen,
something people did see. 14 players took a knee.
Right.
Not at the Army-Navy game, though.
The offensive coordinator would call the play and not be able to see the field.
It's crazy.
They wouldn't even see what happened.
I know.
It looked like old school football.
Yes, it did.
And that player that was going after the guy who threw something at him, he didn't get over the wall, right? He didn't go up.
I don't think so. Nope.
Okay.
He tried. All right. Thank you very much, Jillian. Let's go down to our nation's capital. Kellyanne Conway joins us on this Monday morning. She's counselor to the president. Good morning to you, Kellyanne.
And a Philadelphia Eagles fan. How are you?
There you go.
They need a quarterback, I think.
That's right. Hey, Kellyanne, we just did a story, Griff did a story about Roy Moore. According to Real Clear Politics average, it looks like he's 3 or 4 ahead right now of Mr. Jones. Why has the president, what was the calculation behind not exactly saying he's going to go out and campaign for him, and then at the 11th hour, the president made it very clear in Pensacola that Roy Moore is his guy?
I think the president couldn't be more clear about how he feels about this race. He has said, this is the president talking now, the president has said, go vote Roy Moore. He's made it very clear that he wants that vote in the United States Senate. The president has said a vote for lower taxes and more secure borders, certainly less regulations, more ISIS in defeat around the globe. So the president has made very clear how he feels about this race. And he's also said it's up to the Alabama voters to decide. We respect the rights of voters in every state to decide who represents them in the United States Senate. I know it looks like in the polling, I'm out of the polling business now, but it looks like nobody's cracked 50%. I think one of the undercovered stories of this race is what will be the effect on the Alabama voter with respect to how much money has been spent in this race. There's a tremendous spending advantage for Doug Jones, and the president knows that as well. He sees that. But there's probably this president getting involved, and I think the vice president getting involved in the other special elections has spun victories. Okay. They're 5 for 5. I'm just surprised that the Democrats haven't had more of a footprint in Alabama. I think if they had polling showing Doug Jones ahead, they'd be crowing about it and feeding the media, or most of the media, about it, and they just haven't. They had a couple people down there, but really they've spent money on this race, but they really haven't had superstars, powerhouses going into Alabama, say how they did in Georgia 6 for that Ossoff race, where he lost a $50 million special election.
Right. Real quick on this, there's a theory out there, Laura Ingraham had brought up and some others, that the Republicans, the Democrats want Roy Moore to win to make him the poster child for bad behavior next year in the midterms. How do you feel about that possible plot?
So here's what voters focus on, and we all know. You don't need to be a pollster of 28 years to know the following, including the own media's polling that are pushing that point. The own media's polling show that it's taxes, the economy, healthcare, education, immigration, national security, prosperity, accountability, transparency, every single issue that this president and vice president are working on every single day behind me. Voters know this is the paycheck president. They saw those numbers on Friday. Nobody can take that away from this president. That the economy is absolutely booming. The stock market is up. He's created trillions of dollars of wealth since he got here, since he was elected. And we have the the lowest unemployment rate in 17 years. Lowest unemployment rate among Hispanics ever, folks. Lower unemployment rates than we've had among African Americans and teens and women. You can't argue with the facts and the figures that motivate people to go to the polls. So I don't know why the Democrats, I do know why. They've got nothing else to say. What are they going to do next year? Say, hey, not a single one of us voted for tax decreases. Not a single one of us wanted to roll back regulations that are hurting property owners and taxpayers. Not a single one of us, when we could stand up for the moms and dads and the moms and pops in the tax code, did that. They're for porous borders. Therefore, they call ISIS determined enemies and the JV team. And so we want their help, but what in the world are they going to run on other than this next year?
So
I think voters are smarter than that.
Kellyanne, what was your response then? You're talking about all these statistics that the Republicans have done, that President Trump has done. When President Obama, he spoke at a summit, the North America Climate Summit in Chicago last week, and he said he's taking credit for this booming economy. And Sarah Huckabee Sanders, I believe the word she used was laughable. What's your response?
Regrettable and false, obviously. If the Obama economy is what Americans wanted, then Hillary Clinton would have won his third term. And they rejected Obamonomics. We know that, just look at the statistics. We had 2% or less growth on his watch. This country, for decades, until 2007, got about 3% or better growth GDP on average. And when he got here, it was we settled for less. And people are tired of settling for less. Under President Trump, we've had 2 consecutive quarters of over 3% GDP. We're going to be close to 4%. We had hurricane spending in there, rightfully so, and yet still had a quarter. You see the anticipation and the expectation of a massive tax cut for the middle class and for our job creators. That is spurring economic anticipation, the manufacturer confidence, the small business confidence. It's all up there.
Well, you're not going to hear that on a lot of the mainstream media.
And Obama's not the president.
That's
Why can't he talk about something else? In other words, I can't believe the Democratic Party has wasted a year talking about the 2016 election and occasionally the 2020 election. What in God's name? What do they have to show? Here, this will drive the haters crazy this morning, laying in bed watching us. This is the Democrat. Everybody says, what are the Trump accomplishments? Those are lengthy, and we'll be putting them out soon. Here are the Democratic Party's accomplishments. Go ahead, make it viral, haters. These are their accomplishments. They talked about 2016 and 2020 the whole year, and it doesn't mean anything. They have to go home now and face their voters and say, when I had a chance to cut your taxes, when I had a chance to make our national security more robust, I looked the other way because of petty partisan political differences. Let me make very clear, this president wants Democratic support on our major measures, but that's a question for the Democrats.
All right, very good. Kellyanne Conway joining us from the North Lawn. Kellyanne, thank you very much. Have a great week.
With paper. Take care. Bye-bye.
All right, 13 minutes now after the hour. I don't want to give it away, but I think I saw Stuart Varney on the stairs. Take a quick look.
That's a tease.
All right, coming up. Skier Lindsey Vonn says she will not represent the President of the United States at the Winter Olympics, but now she might not even get to go to the games.
And it's a Bitcoin bonanza. Everybody's talking about how high it is. Should you buy it? That's the question. Stuart Varney's got some answers because it's Bitcoin Monday.
Oh, really?
Good morning.
Hey, Stuart.
Bang. Futures of the digital currency surging more than 20% during its debut on the Chicago Exchange.
And that is today. It began the day at $15,000, ending at more than $17,000, I believe, on Friday, as investors predict multi-trillion-dollar value.
So, should you invest? Here to weigh in, the host of Varney and Company on the Fox Business Network. He's on from 9 to noon. So, people like Jamie Dimon said, you better not trade it or I'm going to fire you.
Look,
he knows what he's talking about usually.
I think it is a speculative bubble which ends in tears. That's my opinion of this thing.
Not for the Winklevoss brothers or whatever their names are. They made a lot of money.
Spit it out there. They're the Winklevoss brothers.
Is that their name? I don't know.
Original investors in Bitcoin, and they are supposedly the first billionaire Bitcoin people. They think it's going to a multi-trillion-dollar market. Okay, that's their opinion. Look,
it's a global digital currency.
Okay, global digital currency. What you're buying, essentially, is a computer entry. And the value of that computer entry is based on supply and demand, not on the price of gold or the full faith and credit of the United States Treasury. The price has gone crazy. You know, it started trading on this futures exchange yesterday, 6 p.m. Eastern Time, Sunday afternoon. It starts trading. It goes up 10%. Trading is halted. They can't handle the volatility.
On a Sunday.
On a
Why on a Sunday?
Well, it's a global market.
It's completely unregulated.
The trading on this exchange is regulated to some degree. But there's all
Bitcoin
kinds of
is not
exchanges.
regulated. Right.
You can establish all different prices on different exchanges. That's
Stuart,
the problem here.
Here's the thing. There are so many people who are looking in. They're, mom and pop investors. They got some money. They're setting it aside. 10 people on our show are investing $100, $200 in it. And they cannot even explain it. They just know that about a month ago it was $9,000, then it's $17,000. They want to have it when it goes to $50,000.
Look, if you've got $100, $200, or $2,000 that you're quite prepared to lose, okay, chuck it into the gambling casino. Why not? But look,
and you're only buying
but let's get this in perspective here. What you're buying into essentially is a new and very disruptive technology. Even if it crashes, it's not going away. The bitcoins of this world are here to stay. They are, as you say, a cryptocurrency. But nobody understands them, but it's a new medium of exchange.
Will restaurants ever take Bitcoin? Can I go to Macy's and get myself a head stocking?
Some do. But at the moment, it's not being used as a currency. It's being used as a speculative computer entry, which they hope will go straight up in value.
But bought in dollars.
Yes, bought in dollars.
You can buy a portion of a coin for hundreds of dollars or whatever you want to put in. But I understand the whole coin is like $15,000 or $10,000.
Current price, moments ago, $16,411 to be precise.
Good luck, Brian. Go invest.
It sounds like a Seinfeld episode, actually.
And you would not put a nickel in it?
I would not. No,
Okay.
I think it is a bubble, and I think it ends in tears, and I think if it crashes, it could hurt the overall economy.
He is Stuart Varney. He's the star of Varney and Company, featuring him for 3 hours.
Can you take it?
Yes.
We'll be
we
watching.
relish in it.
Thank you very
All right.
much.
Meanwhile, 10 minutes before the bottom of the hour and 40 minutes before the top of the hour and 2 hours and
confused.
something else until
Okay.
something happens. The clock is ticking for Congress. Can they get tax reform done before Christmas? We're going to ask Majority Whip Steve Scalise just ahead. That's him and his title.
Lost. Well, it should
Now
be
it's
easy to
found.
get it back to the owner then.
True.
All right. Now, parents, it's no secret that raising children can be challenging. Okay, that's a cartoon.
Well, now in Making Children Mind without losing yours, our next guest has the tips that every parent needs. Joining us now, New York Times bestselling author and parenting expert, Dr. Kevin Leman. Dr. Leman, your book's great. I love the title. How do we raise our kids without losing our minds?
Well, the key is to try to be an authoritative parent. Most of us grew up with authoritarian parents.
Yeah.
That's the difference.
Hey, you get that look off your face right now. I'll come and change it for
That's
you.
authoritarian.
Yeah. And we all grew up with that. But in the permissives today, walk 5 feet, you step into them. Melanie, have you chosen to go to bed yet?
Have you chosen to go to bed?
My father used to say, hey, 8 o'clock, and he'd point. If you didn't move, he'd say, hey, you want to go to bed under your own power, or you want to be ricocheted to bed? But the point was what? You're going to bed. So the midpoint is being the authoritative parent. And that's a tough place. Well, your 14-year-old's got an attitude. She's mean to everybody. 10 minutes later, Mom, would you drive me to the mall? No. That's vitamin N. Okay? The kid will come up. What do you mean? You always drive me to the mall. I don't feel like driving to the mall right now. Mom, honey, you had an attitude all morning. I asked you to do this. You didn't do it. Now, that kid will apologize. They'll con you. And the parent, many times, well, she did apologize, so I guess I'll run her over there, Bob. No.
Don't cave.
Don't cave. So no, your yes be yes, your no be no. Action-oriented discipline, that's what you want.
That's action. That's an example of action-oriented discipline.
Well, another one, a kid doesn't clean his room. Hire a little sister to clean it for him, but pay for it out of his allowance. It's what I call letting the reality of the situation become a teacher to the child. This isn't rocket science. I'm not that smart. But this can work. It works. When I talk to YPO groups, business groups, the principles that I share with them, a lot of them come out of Making Children Mind Without Losing Yours in the Birth Order book. And like I say, it works. So action-oriented, and then learn to respond rather than react.
In what way? What do you mean by that?
Well, single mom, 9-year-old having breakfast, living in a 2-bedroom apartment. 9-year-old says, Mommy, I want a pony. A pony? A pony? She got a deep voice. A pony? Where'd you get that idea from? I'm telling you, if a bird had your brain, he'd fly sideways. Where do you come up with these things? Well, that's a reaction. The doctor says, hey, Brian, you responded to the medication. Responding is good. Reaction to the medication is bad. So, 9-year-old, using the same situation. Mommy, I want a pony. Wow, can you imagine having your own pony? Can you imagine riding down to school in the morning, waving at the kids at the bus stop? 9-year-old says, yeah, but Mom, we live in a 2-bedroom apartment. We can't have a pony here. He'll figure it out. So don't look for trouble. Kids say stupid, dumb things.
Sure.
Look at them and go, wow.
So do adults, by the way.
Oh, I'm telling you, it works with husbands. When a husband says something really stupid, my advice to women is look at him and go, wow. Fascinating.
Just repeat it.
You can be thinking you're an idiot, just don't say it.
Right. One of the things that a lot of parents do is they are, that I've seen over my 30 years of raising kids, is a lot of parents constantly praise their kids thinking that's going to help them, but that does not help them all the time.
Well, when people read in Making Children Mine that Lehman says praise is destructive with children, I think I got a screw loose. But let me give you an example. 5 A's come home on the report card. Here's your traditional authoritarian-based parent. And they mean well. Oh, 5 A's? Oh, I am going to call Aunt Sally and Uncle Jack right now and Aunt Martha. And Grandpa, we are so excited. Oh, honey, I am so proud of you. Here's $20. Now, people say, hey, Lehman, what's wrong with that? Let me give you a better way. Wow, 5 A's. Honey, it looks like all that hard work you put in really paid off. Congratulations, high five.
Less pressure.
And also, you made it about them, not about you. You're
That's
calling
right.
those amped because you want to brag because you're a good parent.
Yeah, and parents will pay kids for grades, really. I mean, let me ask you all a personal question this morning, would you?
Yes, please.
Go up to this one. How many of you have gone potty this morning?
Huh?
Potty. Have you gone potty this morning,
Right.
Steve?
Yeah.
What does that mean?
Did anybody give you an M&M for going?
Right.
I mean, but see, we fabricate all these stupid things.
So we should. How do we potty train then?
Easy.
I'm about to do that.
Well,
He's talking about us.
I know, but don't do the M&M. I've been told
put
by all
this
my
little
friends do
potty
the
down in
M&M.
front of Steve, and he'll.
We'll talk about it in the commercial break.
Yeah,
Maybe.
okay.
Yeah. Anyway, thank you.
Fascinating.
So I could listen to you all day long. I love this.
Because right now, everyone's got a parenting crisis at home having
so
breakfast
true.
at
It's
this
so
moment.
true.
So the new book is called Making Children Mind Without Losing Yours. Dr. Kevin, thank you very much.
We've
Always a
seen
pleasure.
the enemy, Steve, and they are small and they're unionized.
That is excellent.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks, Dr. Lehman. All right, is it the video? It is the video that everyone's talking about this morning. That young boy breaking down in tears, the middle schooler, about being bullied.
Well, the response internationally has been overwhelming. Your emails are coming up next.
People, it's not okay. People that are different don't need to be criticized about it.
News by the numbers, and it is one number. It is more than 20 million views. What we're talking about is Kimberly Jones, who is the mother of a young boy. He would come home every day and he'd say, yeah, they bullied me again. She decided she was going to turn on her phone on Friday, and she did, as her son Keaton explained how the bullies at school are really getting to him.
Just out of curiosity, why do they bully? What's the point of it? Why do you find joy in taking innocent people and finding a way to be mean to them? It's not okay.
What do they say to you?
They make fun of my nose. They call me ugly. They say I have no friends.
What'd they do to you at lunch?
Put milk on me and put a hand down my clothes. Threw bread at me.
Is it just you?
Yep.
Or is it other kids too that feel that way?
Say it's other kids too.
How's that make you feel?
I don't like that they do it to me, and I for sure don't like that they do it to other people, because it's not okay. People that are different don't need to be criticized about it, because it's not their fault. But if you are made fun of, just don't let it bother you. Just stay strong, I guess. It's hard, but it'll probably get better one day.
20 million views of that video. There's a GoFundMe page for his future education, up to about $50,000 so far.
You know, it's so hard to watch that precious child. You know, if you're a parent, even if you're not a parent, if you're a human being and you watch that, I don't understand how. I mean, in middle school, we were all middle schoolers. We were all bullied at one point, but to actually pour milk on someone, I mean, who can do that? Then they took bread and they put it down his shirt.
Damn.
Who are these people? We need to find out who these kids are. They need to get to the principal's office. Their parents need to be told. I'm sure they feel terrible today.
You know what's fascinating? He's like going inside the mind of why would you do that? Because we're different. It's not our fault.
Right.
And he's also doing that for other kids that are being bullied. Stay strong, I guess. Dana White sees this, and he's in charge of the toughest, strongest, most lethal weapons on the planet, the UFC. And he has reached out. He wants everyone to help him find Keaton because he wants to invite the family. He said, meet Keaton Jones, a very smart little boy who is being bullied at school because he forwarded this video. This video is heartbreaking. I want to bring Keaton to Vegas and hang out at UFC headquarters.
He brings up a good point. He is the smart one. He's the smart little boy to recognize people are different. We're all God's children, and it's okay to be different. You don't have to be the most popular person, the prettiest person. We all have strengths in different ways.
After Dana White tweeted that out, Don Trump Jr. tweeted this out. This boy is incredibly brave, and the video really got to me. At Dana White, if he takes you up on your offer to see UFC headquarters in Vegas, I would be honored to host him and his family at our place in Vegas if they need somewhere to stay. We asked you what you thought about it, and the email machine lit up.
Martha said, I wish I could hug that little boy. This brought me to tears. That school should be investigated for allowing this to happen.
Latrice emailed us, if that was my kid, my new job would be to camp out daily at that school until these people and the people allowing it are punished.
We've got to get the backstory here. This from Cartha.
Cartha?
Cartha. I bless all the people who came to this little guy's side. I would love to see coverage of him staying at Don Jr.'s home or a hotel and then hanging out with other celebrities.
Yeah.
That would be great.
Dale Earnhardt Jr. said, add me to your long list of friends, Keaton. Snoop Dogg said Keaton has a friend for life, and that love is the only way to beat hate. You got Justin Bieber, you got Scooter Braun. The entertainment world and a lot of athletes have all said, this kid is cool.
Yeah.
He's our friend.
Right. You know, it's interesting. I wonder if this is going to be something that we're going to see more and more of to combat bullying. Parents doing this so that their kids feel loved. I mean, as a parent, if your kid would you put this on video? This was the little boy's idea.
They might be desperate. It sounds like they're desperate.
I agree. I think it was a great idea because it's brought to light this issue. We all need to be talking about it. I think parents at home need to show this to their middle schoolers and say this is what happens when you're mean to someone.
Sure. And the big question is whether or not the mother has talked to the school in the past about, you know, my kid's getting bullied every day. You're not doing anything. And they had it up to here.
Right.
We don't know. We are going to try to invite them on the program for an appearance in a couple of days. So we'll keep you posted.
The other thing would be
everybody
great.
wants to meet Keaton Jones.
The other thing would be great, Jillian, if people were inspired to not watch the bullying, because most of the time you see the bullying going on, you keep walking. Hopefully other kids will stand up for him.
And I feel like when it's kids who are young, like they're just trying to be cool, or they're just trying to do what their friends tell them to do. Or like they're the people who need the message. They're the people who need the awakening right now.
Yeah.
It's sad. But
yeah, kids shouldn't laugh at someone else, but, but to pour milk on them and to do that, that's a different level.
Evil. All right.
Yes, it is. Evil. That's a good word for it. Okay, let's get you caught up on your headlines this morning, including this. Anti-American protests erupting overnight in Indonesia as Muslims react to the U.S. recognizing Jerusalem as Israel's capital. Protesters burning American flags and images of President Trump. Meantime, the White House calling out Palestinian leaders for canceling a meeting with Vice President Pence later this month. The vice president's press secretary saying, quote, it's unfortunate that the Palestinian Authority is walking away again from an opportunity to discuss the future of the region. Jury selection begins today in the trial of the first U.S. police officer to ever be accused of terrorism. Nicholas Young, a former Washington, D.C. cop, is accused of buying $250 in gift cards to send to ISIS and giving them to an undercover agent. He was arrested in a government sting last year after being under surveillance for years. Young's lawyers claim he was entrapped by the FBI. Olympic skier Lindsey Vonn pulling out of a World Cup race after injuring her back on Saturday. The gold medalist says she's focusing on getting healthy for the Winter Games. Now, this happened just days after trashing the president.
I hope to represent the people of the United States, not the president. I want to represent our country well. And I don't think there are a lot of people currently in our government that do that.
Vaughn also says she won't visit the White House if she's invited. Let's look at your headlines. You know, guys, that sparked a lot of outrage online, and it's still going.
It is indeed.
Yep.
All right. Thanks, Jillian.
Thank you.
All right, it is 19 minutes before the top of the hour on this Monday. It is warm in the studio, but I think it's a little chilly out in the streets of New York City, and that's where JD is. With
Rub it in, will ya? Look at my crowd keeping me warm. Listen, you know those ugly Christmas sweaters? Do you know those ugly Christmas sweaters? Well, I love crazy Christmas hats, so we're doing 2 weeks of crazy Christmas hats, and here's the first one. What do you think?
Beautiful.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, excellent. All right, let's take a look at the maps real quick, because it's cold. Do you guys like the cold? Yeah. Okay, let's take a look at it. It's seasonal. You're right. Absolutely. 34 degrees here in New York, 30 in Cleveland. It is cold as far south as Florida, 45 degrees in Tampa. We do have this pattern setting up where we've got the wintry weather across the Great Lakes and the Midwest and the Northeast. So we have a chance of snow not only tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen, but really near the end of the work week and a white Christmas. Who wants a white Christmas? Put your hands up. Everybody wants a white Christmas? And where you go? Who's from North Dakota here? Hi. Where are you? And what are your names?
Jeanette from Fargo.
And?
Joanne from Tower City, North Dakota.
Nice. And you love Fox and Friends?
We love Fox and Friends.
Is this the highlight of your trip?
It is, yeah.
All right, so wave, everybody. Wave to Ainsley and Steve and Brian. We've got the whole gang here.
Hello. Oh, there you go.
Yay!
Wow. You even got Brian to wave, Janice.
All right. Good enough. JD, thank you very much. Meanwhile, coming up on this Monday, the clock is ticking for Congress. Can they get tax reform done before Christmas? We're going to get a whip count from Congressman Steve Scalise. There he is right there. He's in our studio, and he is coming up shortly. Good morning to you, sir. We've got a Fox News alert for you right now. We have just confirmed from the Fire Department of New York that there was some sort of a bomb in Midtown Manhattan near 42nd and 8th Avenue, where the Port Authority bus terminal is. We do not know if it exploded. There are reports the Port Authority bus station has been evacuated. Bomb squad is on the scene. We have a crew on the way. We will have an update as soon as we get it. So anyway, it looks as if they found a bomb over by the Port Authority.
Pretty scary. Port Authority is where all the buses coming from different parts of the suburbs come into our city.
And this is
subways
probably
there too.
Excuse me. That's probably one of the busiest times. The busiest times you could do it. So that would be the maximum payoff for a would-be terrorist.
All right. Meanwhile, more on that in a moment. But right now, let's bring in Republican Louisiana Congressman and House Majority Whip Steve Scalise. It is an honor to have you back here in New York.
Well, great to be back with you. Not sure what that's all about, but my prayers surely go out to anybody that's been injured with this, and